So before you start trading or using Ourbit for anything like investment and trading, you need to understand that every exchange charges what we call small fees. Now these fees are in different types. We have what we call trading fees, deposit fees, withdrawal fees, markers and takers fees. We have funding fees and all of that. Now if you don't understand this, you may not really care about it because sometimes the fees are not much, but when you start trading big volume, you will notice the differences. You understand? Now, if you don't understand it, you'll be asking yourself questions. Why am I being charged so much? And then also, if you don't understand it, you will not really know how to go about it so that you will reduce those costs and those fees. You understand? And have better results for your trading. Now, in this video, I'm going to be explaining all of these fees for you and how to minimize them. Not that you can eliminate them, you can't eliminate it, but you can minimize them. You understand? So I'm going to explain all of that to you. All right. So if this is your first time of seeing my video, you are welcome. This is Blockchainplus. In this place, I make crypto simple and profitable for everyone. So if this is your first time on my channel, please hit this like button on this video if you enjoy this content. Also subscribe to this channel and turn on your bell icon so that you'll be notified when I drop valuable videos like this. And if you want to join my community, you are welcome. You will see the name of my community on the screen of this place. You can see there it's just Blockchain Plus Hub, or you go to my link in description or link in bio. You're going to see the link to join our Telegram community. All right, with that said, let's go back to today's video, which is talking about fees and how they apply. So the first one is the trading fee. Now the trading fees are the small amount that the exchange charges you when you buy or sell crypto. So whether you're buying or selling crypto, you always be charged a trading fee. You understand? Now some exchange can charge you as little as 0.1% or 0.2% or even 0.05%, depends. You understand? So let's say the exchange is taking 0.1%. It means if you buy with $10 or let's say $100, then your trading fee or what you're spending as fee will be around 10 cents. You see, it's not much, but when it goes to $1,000, it becomes more. When it goes to $10,000, the fee become more. You understand? So that is trading fee. You must understand that you cannot eliminate these trading fees. You cannot eliminate these trading fees, but there are some that you can actually reduce the amount you are being charged, and I'm going to explain that to you. Now we have what we also call deposit fee. A deposit fee is a fee you may pay when putting money or crypto into your exchange. Some exchange charge, although right now deposit fee is being minimized. You understand? The reason for that is because of withdrawal fees. You get? So when you are charged withdrawal fee, there is no much sense when people are charging you deposit fees. Now, the only time that most exchange charge you deposit fees is when there is high activity in the network you are using. So they are going to process a lot of things for them to be able to make your deposit go through. So they might charge you deposit fee. And this deposit fee is also called a blockchain or network fee. Like I said, when there's high activity in the network, that is when you are being charged this fee. Now, the reason for the deposit fee sometimes, if it actually happens, is because of the blockchain. You understand? Not the exchange themselves. The exchange don't really care about deposit fee. It's the blockchain that processes the transaction. They need to charge you some fee. That is when the activity on the blockchain is high. But if the activity is not high, in most cases you are not charged any fee. Now the next one is withdrawal fee. Now withdrawal fee is what you also pay when you want to make withdrawal out of your exchange. Now this withdrawal fee, you pay it to the blockchain as well or the network as well. Though the exchange have some percentage they also take from that withdrawal fee. Like when we are doing our withdrawal, you saw when I was checking the withdrawal fee for BNB, Smart Chain, Tron, and Optimism, and I showed you this Optimism on was smaller, right? So that is what you need to understand about withdrawal fee. So let me just show you an example again of it. Now, if you come to network, so you can see that it's the network that the fees are attached to, not the exchange. However, the exchange might have small percentage from it. You can see withdrawal fee right here. You can see these are all withdrawal fees, which is known as network fee. In some exchanges, they may call it withdrawal fee. Now, this one, you can actually reduce the amount of withdrawal fee you pay. And you can do that by selecting the network with the lowest fee, withdrawal fee. Now, for instance, sometimes Aptos, you can see Aptos used to have the lowest in some exchanges. Now, in this exchange, since we are strictly dealing with Ourbit, I'm just going to stick with Ourbit for this. You can see Binance, BNB have the lowest. I think BNB or BNB have the lowest. This one is 0.02, BNB 0.01. That is for the withdrawal fee. Now you can see Tron withdrawal fee very high, 1.49. Now this withdrawal fee that is higher, sometimes it drops, like I told you, due to network activity. So far, Tron is higher. Solana is almost $1. You can see Solana right there, 99 cents is almost $1. So it's high as well. So this is for withdrawal fee. Now you need to understand it. Once you understand this withdrawal fee, you cannot choose the one with the lowest withdrawal fee. That is how you reduce your withdrawal fee. Now the next one is maker versus taker. Now let me explain this maker versus taker so that you understand how it works. Now this one may be very bit complicated, but I'll just explain it in a very simple way that you can understand. So a maker is someone who places an order that doesn't execute immediately in the market and instead adds liquidity to the order book. Now, it is as a result of having lot of makers in the market that builds liquidity in the order book. Now, makers are simply seen as people who place limit orders. So this their order doesn't execute immediately. So it is called what? Limit order. You understand? For instance, if you want to buy BTC, let's say you want to trade spot now, and right now BTC is, let's say BTC is at 64,150. 151, and you say, okay, no, I want to buy it as exactly 64,000, and you come to buy right like this, and then you place on limit order. Like I said, a maker is someone who places limit order. I can see is on limit, and then you put your price at exactly 64,000. You understand? So you are now a maker. Once you put your price at 64,000, and then you put the amount of Bitcoin you want to buy. Let's say you want to buy 0.005, 0.005 worth of Bitcoin. Now you are a maker in the market, and once you are a maker in the market, your fee that you pay is always very small. So sometimes, instead of using market execution, like coming to this place that says limit right here, you can see it, you change it to market. You can see market right here. So instead of saying market, you can choose makers. Now, you can choose limit. Now, if you choose market, because you are doing market execution, the fee you pay is always higher than when you are doing limit order buying. Now, if you look at this section as well, you see this section like this, that you have all these numbers running. Those are people who have set limit order. Those are all makers, and they are adding liquidity to the order book. You can see this is the amount that I want to buy BTC, sell BTC at. These ones, they are the buyers. I'm going to explain this when we are dealing with spot trading. Now, this is the amount of BTC each of them have placed. I'm just showing you who makers are. Now the next one is takers. Now takers are someone, or a taker is someone who takes an order that is already available in the market. Now if you look at this right here, this is the exact price right now. You just come and buy the Bitcoin at that exact price by using market or instant execution, depending on the exchange. Now for our bit, it is known as market. You understand? So you buy the trade or you enter the trade at exactly the price that you are seeing. You're not setting limit order. Now that is who we call a taker. Now the reason why takers get charged more is because they take liquidity from the market. So for instance, now imagine right now that all of this Bitcoin put together now, they are not up to 20, and someone just comes and says, I want to buy 20 Bitcoin. Now, if this person buys 20 Bitcoin, now is going to buy all the way to wherever the amount of 20 Bitcoin is going to stop. And that means this price is going to shoot up. So you are taking liquidity, you're taking away liquidity from the market. And that is why takers get charged more trading fee than makers. Now, the next fee you want to talk about is funding fees. So, funding fees are typically associated with futures trading. Yeah, so funding fees are a periodic payment that you as a trader you pay as long as your trade is open. As long as you are in a trade that you've not closed, that trade is going to be paying a funding fee to keep the trade running. You understand? It's like you rented a shop. As long as your shop is operating, you need to be paying shop rent. You get? So that is the same thing with funding fee. Let me show you an example with my trades. You can see I am in some trades. Let me show you right here. You can see I'm in this trade. Most of my trades right now are in red. Like three of my trade, one, two, three. They are all in red. One actually hit SL this morning, but it's normal. Is very very normal in the market. You don't expect to win all the trade, and you can never win all the trades. Now you can see this place, this small button here, right here. If I click on that small button, you can see you can see unrealized PNX telling me it's minus 0.0087. That unrealized is not it's not like it's the trade or my profit or my loss. Is the amount they are charging me for keeping that trade open and running. If I come to this next one right here, you can see this one is 0.0218. That is the funding fee I am paying. If I come to this one, you can see this one on, just look at this place. You can see it. So those are the funding fees I'm paying. You can see right now, I am the one paying funding fees. Now, there are sometimes they will be the one to pay you funding fees. That means you will not be seeing it as negative. You just see it as 0.08. You can see this one's funding fee is more, and the more the trade stays open without you closing it, the more funding fee you pay. You get? So that is why sometimes when you enter a trade and the trade is taking forever to play out, you begin to get worried. You get? But however, if the trade plays out and gives you good profit, the profit is going to cover the funding fee, because they're going to charge the funding fee from that profit you made, not from your own money. So that is what a funding fee is. So for those of you who are into futures trading, one way to actually reduce funding fees on your futures is to avoid using high leverage, because if you use higher leverage and the trade stays for a longer period of time, you're going to be charged more funding fees and more trading fees. You understand? Because for instance, we talked about trading fees, takers, we talked about takers and makers, right? So if you are a taker and you use high leverage, you're going to pay more. You understand? So even if you are a maker and use high leverage, you're still going to pay more. You understand? Than when you use the normal leverage of 10x, 5x, maximum 20x. You get? So all of those ones, I'm going to talk about them later. Now I have covered everything about the fees on Ourbit. We talked about trading fees, deposit fee, withdrawal fees, maker versus takers. Then we talked about funding fees, and I've also told you the ways to reduce most of these fees. You understand? So that you don't end up losing more money than you're making. Alright, so guys, that is it for me in this particular video. I hope you understand everything I've done here. If you have any question, use the comment section and I'll attend to your questions for you. And if you loved this video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on your bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever I drop valuable videos like this. I will see you guys in my next video. Remain blessed.